Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name is EmilyHanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. Today I have a pre-game tipsy get ready with me inspired by my dear friend Teresa as dad. Audra and I, we are friends with Teresa. We adore Teresa. And we saw one of Teresa's videos recently where they did a drunken get ready with me that was composed of makeup that they purchased during a patron chat shopping event. Patron chat where they shopped together. Audra and I were like, that sounds like a fucking blast. We want to do that. We're broke bitches. We are broke. So we did some group shopping, the sale section of Ulta. So we were also tipsy or drunk during that group shopping experience. And we went through and we tried to pick out one thing in almost every category that was also on sale. And so today I am doing a get ready with me that is featuring all of the products that I picked up during the sale shopping, and I've also had a beverage or two while getting ready, because the reality is I don't drink often. When I drink, it's usually for a YouTube video, so why not, you know, pre-game for new makeup nonsense bingo. Audra and I both wanted to see if the makeup that was on sale was actually any good, and see if the peer pressure purchases were any good, because there were definitely things that I bought because Audra was like, you need to get these, or because people in the Patreon were like, you need to get this. So some of the colors that I picked out, some of the things that I picked out, they're because of you. Also inspired by Teresa, and something that I do quite often is I'm doing a chatty get ready with me, and I wanted to talk about internet friendships, because my friendship with Teresa and my friendship with Audra are internet friends, and I have lots of thoughts and feelings about the way that internet friendships are portrayed as lesser than or not real relationships or not real bonds. And I just kind of talk through like my history, my experiences, and obviously my rage and frustration with the way that especially the older generations talk about internet friends. If you like colorful makeup, lots of opinions, and cute fat babes in general, you should go ahead and subscribe. I am getting drunker and drunker as I talk, and this intro is getting more and more challenging. So I need to wrap it up. But if you would like to see how this colorful shit show comes together, please keep on watching. Cheers to the joy that is a fountain Diet Coke, spiked with whiskey. When I call myself trash, I'm saying it in love. I'm terrible at actually talking about the makeup with these get ready with me's, but you're used to that, that's why you're here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little primer on, which seems like it's gonna act like skincare, which is good because I haven't put any skincare on in, I don't know, 8 hours. Anyway, I feel like it's been quite a long time since I've done like a chatty get ready with me. That's like just about life and not about the makeup. And yeah, it's interesting times around here is what I want to say. Also, this is a earbud, just in case it wasn't clear. I'm just listening to some music because ADHD brain. I want to start by thanking Cecily, who is a mod and maybe patron. I don't even know all the things. A friend that I have met through doing this thing, and I put it out there to people for some video ideas, for some chatty ideas, because I was feeling a little like unsure of what to talk about tonight, and Cecily had the good idea. Actually gave me a couple of good ideas, but tonight I want to talk about, like, I don't know, friends and how like internet friendships are so important in my life. And I think that there's this there's a factor to it that that Cecily mentioned that I think is so accurate, in that, so I am 36 and I have spent quite a lot of my life on the internet, but it's not my whole entire life. And I think that there is this range from, I would say, anywhere from 20 or 25 years old to 40 to 45 years old, where you're kind of in that transition. And I think, like, for younger and older, some of the factors there are, you know, like your family or your personal, you know, wealth and access and all of that. That's why I think there's such a big window. But anyway, like, I think that there's this transitionary kind of generation or generations of people where, you know, we had life before the internet and we have life now that is very internet focused, and then there is the in between time. And for me, like, from a pretty young age of being on the internet, it was a way to find friends. Now, you know, as a child, as like a young adult, I mean, I did have friends at school, but there was bullying and there's all kinds of things that just make you feel kind of other or out of place or all of the above. And, you know, I still hear people talk about how, like, internet friends are not real friends, and how do you, you know who these people are without meeting them in real life, and all of these things. It's a really frustrating thing for me. And I think the specific idea of, like, calling them internet friends also annoys me, because I mean, so I still use that phrase because it makes sense in a lot of ways, because it's how I met the person. But I also hate it because I feel like there's just so many people that when they hear internet friends, they automatically dismiss them. And I do think it's older generations, older people. Oh. I did not mix that up. Whoopsie. I forgot to do that. And yes, I'm a very weird person. I like to pull my straw up so that I can sip from where the ice is, meaning where the drink is the coldest. Whatever. I mean, I still use the phrase internet friends to kind of talk about how I met a person, but 2020 really showed me the power of internet friends and communities. And I guess, without, like, making this a rage get ready with me, I just feel a lot of rage about people that dismiss those friendships. I still get really frustrated by people that diminish those kinds of friendships. And they're more common than you think. There is rightful concern for, is this person like a real person? Are they safe? All of these things. But maybe this is just, you know, my positive experiences kind of clouding my judgment. But I feel like there are so many ways to research, like, is this person real? Is the information that they have mentioned to me, like, accurate? You know, are they who they say they are? And I know, like, my experience has been that generally I haven't had issues with, like, people lying to me about who they are and being fake. I mean, I I grew up in the AOL Instant Messenger and chat room days. So yeah, I'm sure I talked to a lot of fake motherfuckers there. I was also a fake motherfucker then. Like, pretending to be something you're not in that era was just like, that was the amazing Wild West of the internet. And yes, I can't stop putting on highlighter. Leave me alone. It's just no longer a concern of mine. This is going to sound this is gonna sound insulting to myself and my friend group, but like, why would you make up that you're a neurodivergent, fat, queer person on the internet? Like, I'm not making internet friends with Chads. I'm not making internet friends with straight, white, cis men and women. I'm not. I'm sure there are people that have made up those kinds of personalities online, but like, that's not the common trend. So I think that's one of those factors that I hadn't fully kind of considered as to why I am so unbothered by the way people are like, oh, are you sure that your friends online are real? Because I'm like, we're all the broken toys finding each other. And like I said, I know there are people that come into this space to take advantage of those kinds of people. I know that happens. Generally speaking, my experience, that hasn't really been a concern. Also, this is a very red on me, but like, okay. I've been liking the like blush as contour kind of look a lot lately, so I'm gonna keep going with that. So I think that's a lot of it, is that I'm not in a lot of these, I guess, traditional spaces when it comes to online communities. So I'm less worried about that. I'm just less worried about it. And also, like, so okay, for me, I have had active, like, real friendships through online communities since high school, like early high school. Also, I'm feeling nostalgic and I'm literally listening to like 90s and 2000s music, so that's funny. I have Backstreet Boys on at this very moment. But I feel like I was definitely in high school, but I could have been in middle school when I discovered literally a site that was writing.com where you could post all kinds of writing, but one of the things that they did on that site was like collaborative storytelling, where somebody could come up with a prompt and then kind of open it up for people to almost apply to join. I had a good friend that was like a pen pal for a couple of years from that. One of my closest friends from college, I didn't meet them at orientation or in a class we had together. No, I met them on the unofficial university message board. Like, and we had classes together. That was the fucking hilarious part of it, is that I could have easily met them at a class, but we like skipped past almost all of the pleasantries and went straight into friendship. Like, I've actually told this story probably on multiple live streams at this point, but like, this friend started out as basically a troll to me. Like, not persistent troll, but like saying like one thing in particular or one situation in particular, and I was like, well, that bitch is talking about me, and like, we have classes together, and I like, we didn't just have a class together, we were actually in the same program together. But yeah, so we kind of like skipped all the pleasantries, and that became one of my closest friends for like a decade. And I don't think we would have connected the way we did without the internet, because like we had different personalities. She was a more abrasive person. I was probably abrasive in my own way to her, but like I got to see her like weird sense of humor and her like kind of twisted like hobbies and shit, and I was like, wait, I like this person. Like, actually, it would, like, yes, they fucking trolled me, but also, I kinda dig this person. Used to be a really fresh-faced look, just like this, but we're gonna add eyeshadow, of course. And like in my college, you know, I went to a big state university, and so even though there was obviously lots of different ways to meet people on campus, you know, it's like 30,000 students. So anyway, continuing on, like I said, the message board at my university was definitely one way to like find in real life friends that were internet friends, because once you realize that, you know, you two got along in some capacity, then you would be like, okay, let's meet up at the, you know, favorite coffee shop, or let's, you know, go get a beer together or something if you were 21 or whatever, or go to a house party together, because what the fuck am I talking about paying for liquor? So anyway, like that, and I think like I definitely always had a little bit of envy towards people that like did truly more creative college stuff, and whereas like I was in more of a school that had some creative stuff but was more technical and had more engineering and sciencey shit happening. But I did appreciate the fact that there was that many nerds around to enjoy time with them. And then, you know, after college, well, really even still in college, I became friends with somebody through a message forum for gastric bypass, because spoiler, I had that done. That's a different video for a different day. And if you're gonna be a shithead in the comments, I will block the fuck out of you. So again, yeah, in college, I became friends with somebody else through message boards. I mean, more than just one person, but I became like in real life friends with them. I actually, they were the reason why I had somebody that I knew in New York, so that when I like worked out an internship situation that I had the privilege of doing, I had somebody in New York that I could meet and spend the summer with. Yes, like I crashed in their studio apartment. I mean, I paid for it, but like, yeah. So another internet friend turned like real life friend that made a huge impact on my life, and it just keeps going. I was active on Twitter before, again, while I was in college, and well, 2008, so the end of college, and before I moved to New York. And I have friends that I met through Twitter that are still friends today that live in New York, or even if they've relocated, we still are in communication. I have a really, really dear friend, like we've gotten so much closer over the years, that I met through food blogging. Like, and then I took the opportunity to connect with them when we were in the same cities. And again, like now, Audra is one of my dearest friends, and they are a friend that I met through YouTube. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't, it's because I haven't done one of these like chatty get ready with me's in a while that I feel like don't know if I'm making a point. I'm also consuming alcohol. But I just, I continually get so frustrated by people that shit talk internet friendships, because the reality is that, and this is true if you've never met the person in real life or not, they're completely valid friendships. And, they can be like, the fact that there's so many of us who are neurodivergent, who maybe are, you know, LGBTQIA or queer, who are, for those that are trans, non-binary, those that are just nerds of different kinds. Like, there's all these different reasons why we might have flocked to the internet, and to find other people that we can bond with because of that, because they also are, you know, a nerd for fantasy writing and want to do that with other people, or because they are also into a certain video game, or they are a fucking nerd for makeup and love talking about it and want to, you know, bond with other people over it, or whatever the reason is. To be able to find communities online and then like be able to really bond with people, it's a true connection. It's a true connection, and I will never believe anybody that wants to shit talk those connections, because the reality is that we're all, so many of us are born into families that, you know, we feel like the black sheep, or we are born in cities or states that, you know, are actively legislating against our livelihood, our safety, and all these things. Or we're just, you know, not in a location, a school, a town, a state where people that share our hobbies are nearby. Because, you know, for a lot of us, even if your hobby is something that I feel like is more maybe embraced nowadays, like I think about like gaming, it doesn't mean you're near other people that like to game and play the same games that you like to play, or watch games that you like to play. You know, that doesn't mean that. You're lucky in a lot of situations to find anybody that just like wants to hang out with you. And I think that's the other part of it, is that I know that a lot of us have spent, you know, years or decades of our lives being in friendships with people that don't really treat us with the like vim and vigor that we deserve. And I am so strongly in the camp of like, if you're spending time with somebody, they should be passionately into you, and you should be passionately into them. You should be excited to spend time with them. They should be enthralled to spend time with you. And I'm not saying that every moment that you hang out with this person, do you have to be having intense conversations? No, but so many people that I know, including myself, have been in relationships where we have shrunk ourselves. We have been less than who we really are. And we might know that we're doing that in the moment, or we might not realize it, but that's what we're doing. And I'm so exhausted by that. I'm exhausted seeing friends have to do that for people that are not really their friends, or not really people that love them, or for their family, or for whoever. I'm so tired by that. And I feel like, you know, when you find your people, like through the internet or wherever, when you find them and you're just able to be yourself, that's such a fucking powerful experience. Okay, so I kind of finished all of my face up, a lot of it off of camera, because I did a big white wing with some lethal white gel liner, and then I added some white freckles, and I did the other eye, and I put on some mascara. I feel like I just kind of like abruptly left the whole friendship conversation, the whole internet friend conversation. This is definitely a topic that I could like delve into deeper, and I probably should in a different video. But the more I talk about like making friends through the internet, there's like a couple of things that I really have realized. First of all, marginalized groups tend to find each other through the internet, and we tend to be able to become friends without a lot of the societal pressures and stereotypical pressures that get put onto marginalized groups, where whatever marginalized groups you land in. And then in the last like 2 years, as I've come to know neurodivergent as a label, and come to kind of get to know my own brain a little bit better, I also realized that there's a lot of really, really healthy ways of finding friends through the internet, especially when you're neurodivergent. And again, I've said this earlier, I don't want to diminish the unhealthy and dangerous ways that, you know, people can find and manipulate other people through the internet, but almost every single person in my life, either that's currently in my life or people that have been impactful in my life in the past, I wouldn't have the relationship that I have without the internet. Whether we met each other originally through the internet, or whether mutual hobbies and things online have helped us like strengthen our in-person relationships. And there's just so many different ways to find community and to find friendship and really important bonds through communities online. And I just like the stigma, it's not actually in quotations, the actual stigma that people still put on the idea of like your close friends not living in your same city, not living in your same state, having not met them in person before. I hate that kind of judgment, because I think about the friendships that I got forced into, and many people in my life have gotten forced into in middle school and high school, because it was friendships of convenience, because we were in the same location. And yes, I get that when you're younger and you're less mature and you have less options, that, you know, bad friendships can happen. But the same is true for workplaces, for all of these situations when you are forced to only pick your friends from people that are in your immediate area. It's really, really limiting. And through the internet and through communities online, I have been able to have a family, a true family of people in my life that I would have never had, because I either would have never moved to New York. If I moved to New York, people that I'm friends with now, I would not have initially connected with, because we connected online first. And there's just so many layers and interconnectivity in my life when it comes to connecting online and then taking the friendship further through video chats, through actually being pen pals, through meeting up in real life, or like traveling to the same place and meeting there. Like, there's just all these different ways that you can do it. You can do it safely. You can do it in a way that just makes life so much more rich and beautiful, and you realize you're not alone, and you can realize that you are not uniquely weird in a bad way. You are not like lesser than. You are not undeserving of friends and of community and of family. Even if that whole family is living in different parts of the country and different parts of the world, it doesn't mean you don't have family, and you're not alone. And I think that's the other beautiful thing, is that I am rarely alone. If I need people, I have somebody somewhere, even in my what feels like small and tight friend group, that I can reach out to. And so I don't know, I love talking about this, because if you still feel weird about it, if you still feel like you're not able to fully like commit to internet friends because of stigmas or because of the way people in your life think about them, like, they're wrong. They're wrong. And obviously, if you feel weird about somebody, if you're not sure, you know, go with your gut. Truly go with your gut. But I wouldn't be who I am now without internet friends. And I don't think most people in my life would be who they are without them either. So anyway, that is some of my feelings, some of my superficial and slightly less superficial feelings about it. And there's so many different ways I could dive into this topic, and I do want to talk more about it. And then I'm just going to go through real quickly and give you a few like first impressions on the makeup that I used today. So the Catrice Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer, Fresh It Up Moisturizing with Bamboo Water. This feels like a nice gel moisturizer. Yeah, that's basically it. Do I think it's actually the best combo with the Ordinary Serum Foundation? I don't know. I don't know if the serum foundation actually needed this, but because I hadn't done my skincare in quite a while, it was a nice refresher to my skin. I think if I was going to use this and I was coming off of my skincare, I would use one less serum or moisturizer and use this. Or like, maybe use this and then use my SPF on top of it, that kind of thing. So the Ordinary Serum Foundation, I put this on in 2 thin layers, and I got 1.2 in, and at first I did think it was maybe like a touch too dark, but I don't know if it actually adjusted. That's something that Audra said that they experienced, was that the color adjusted. I'm not sure if it adjusted or if it's just that I got used to seeing the color, but I do like it. I think it added some nice coverage. I actually didn't feel like I needed to like conceal in some of the places that I typically conceal. It feels slightly tacky, so like I could probably get away with a little bit of powder, and I think if you're more oily, you could probably get away with some powder. I get like a little bit of settling into like lines like right here and kind of like where I scrunch my face, and it looks pretty normal for those areas. Like it's settled in a teensy bit, but it's not anything I'm upset about. And I've been sitting here for a little while, like, you know, messing with my eye makeup. The Kylie concealer, it blended in nice. I wasn't sure if it's not, I don't think it's like the perfect color for me, but for my under eyes, it's not bad. I don't think it's great for my like face as much, but yeah. I think I kind of like, I could use a little bit more coverage, but for a first try, I don't mind it. For $5, like, this is my first and only Kylie or Kardashian purchase, literally ever. But for $5, I'm not upset about it. The j.cat You Glow Girl in White Goddess. This kind of white gold is just not my favorite color, but it looks nice. It looks nicer on the face than it did when I initially swatched it out. It's just not my favorite kind of color, but it seems like a nice baked formula. I wish that Ulta still had more of the colors of this, because I think j.cat, at least like a while back. They had like 10 or 12 different colors, but last time we purchased Ulta had 2 colors. The j.cat, the blusher, the blush-mallow. I'm partial to the name because I love marshmallows, and I think this is really pretty. It kind of reminds me of the texture of the Super Shock like cheek products from ColourPop. I haven't had one of those in years, but it reminds me a bit of that. It feels a little like, oh yeah, you can see like it, you can leave a fingerprint in there when you squish and it picks up product. I think this is a pretty color. This one is called Dolly Peachy. This is definitely not peach to me. It's more of like a red orange, but I think that if you like this kind of tone, this was a nice one to apply. And I like that it's like a cream blush that picks up nicely with a brush, and it doesn't feel dewy, but it was pretty easy to apply. And I didn't feel like it was picking up anything that was on underneath or anything like that. So this is about as close to a powder product that you can get in a cream product, in my experience. The Becca like Love lipstick. This is nice. It's a pretty like satin formula, kind of right in the middle of the road. I definitely had to reapply when I came back because by the time I had talked and drank my drink, it was wearing down. But it's a beautiful, bright, like reddy orange. And this is not related to mask wearing, because when it comes to mask wearing, I don't do any bright colors, whether it's liquid lipstick or otherwise. But talking about in non-mask related lifestyles, this feels comfortable enough where I would feel good putting it on, but it's not so slippery that I'm worried about this like red orange going everywhere. Now, the BH Cosmetics Remix Dance 90s palette. First of all, the palette itself is larger than I was expecting. Like if you've seen the Midas and Drench Genesis palette, like it's quite a bit larger. The pans are like bigger than a 26mm pan, but not as big as a 36mm like JD Glow pan. I think this is actually a pretty palette if they had just taken out the 3 browns. I think that the shimmers do look pretty nice. Like when I originally swatched this out, I was pretty impressed. Like here's what I always, this is my comparison always, is that I'm like, no, they're not like, you know, indie singles brand shimmers, but they're also not bad. I think the orange one is like a little less impactful than the others in this palette, so that's a little bit of a bummer. The thing that is like a slight bit confusing with the colors is that there's not actually like a purple that really matches up with the shimmer purple, because that matte color up here is more of like a pink, and then the other pink is brighter. It's more like the packaging color. So I think that the shimmer and matte kind of color matchup is not like perfect, but it's actually a pretty color story. I want to say so. Like, and the white shimmer that's in the top, you could pair it over like a lot of different shimmers in here. It's also good inner corner color, and it would actually probably work as a nice highlighter on me. But yeah, actually realistically, not even just the top 3, but I would get rid of the top 4 colors and go with like some richer, brighter tones that kind of coordinated with the rest of these. I guess if you wanted a neutral look, like, you have that option. But even when you're looking at that, these two are so incredibly close that I still feel like you have like a lot of duplication. So I think that the mattes perform nicely. Like the green and the turquoise blended together nicely. The coral was pretty. It like built up and blended out. I think that the shimmers, like I said, look nice. The only thing is that the orange did kind of like look a little satin on me, but it's a fun little number right in the top of my brow. So I'm not mad about this for a like budget price point. The Petite and Pretty Mascara, I definitely picked this up because Audra raves about it all the time. I will say, for an hourglass brush, this is one of the smaller that I have tried, and it definitely volumizes my lashes, but I want the brush to like to be less goopy. Like, I feel like the component, like I want it to pull more of the mascara off, because I had to go in with a little skinny mascara, and I probably could have instead used a comb or brush to brush through it, but I want to like this, but right now the brush is a little bit goop city for me. Whew, that is everything. I've pre-gamed properly because I am feeling it, but if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. If you would like to be a part of the future Patreon shopping, makeup related video experiences, or just other Patreon chats and all of that good stuff, my links to my Patreon and the YouTube membership are in the description box. And otherwise, I just appreciate you for watching. I totally understand for anyone that doesn't have the desire or financial ability to be a patron or member. I still greatly appreciate you. I appreciate you watching, sharing, enjoying it, leaving a comment. All of the ways that you support me, it's so appreciated. Please know that you don't go unnoticed. If you have any questions or comments or anything about anything that's on my face or anything I talked about today, definitely leave them in the comments. And don't forget to take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday, because you're worth it. Bye, friends.